So if you're not doing resistance training as an athlete, from my experience, I feel like you're more likely to get hurt, and also you're not going to be as good at your sport as you could be. So going inside the weight room and getting a lift in is always super important. But there have been times where I haven't been able to go to a weight room, whether that's because I was traveling or I didn't have enough time to drive to the gym that day, or like when I was in high school and I didn't have a gym membership. So today I'm just going to share with you my 7 favorite bodyweight exercises you don't really need equipment for, and these exercises will help you become a better athlete. So the first exercise is actually two, and that's tibialis raises and calf raises, whether that's leaning against the wall or just kind of freestanding. So pretty much all athletes need strong ankles, whether that's because you're a boxer and you want to have good footwork, or you're a sprinter and you don't want to hurt your ankle. These exercises will help a lot with that. And my football coach used to have us do 50 every time we went inside the weight room to help prevent things like shin splints. Also, the person who I learned these from, knees over toes guy, he explained how doing these exercises will actually help a lot with knee pain too. But yeah, these are especially important if you're someone who has skinny ankles like me, or also like me, you've injured your ankle before. So yeah, highly recommend doing these. Also, they're just a nice little thing to do while you're waiting in line, or if you're at an airport waiting for your flight. It would stand out a little bit if you just got on the floor and started busting out push-ups in front of everyone. But if you just lean against the wall, hit a couple tibialis raises or hit a couple calf raises, no one will bat an eye. So yeah, these are just also really good for that. Alright, second exercise is neck isometric holds with a towel. Like I've said in other videos, your neck is super important for people in contact or combat sports. Just recently I had a Muay Thai competition and, I got head kicked in it, and I didn't get a concussion, and I think my neck is to thank for that. And because I didn't get rattled, because I feel like my neck was strong enough, I was able to follow up with my own kicks. I'm not 100% sure if I have my neck to thank for that, but I feel like it did play a part. I think neck training is pretty well known about now, but yeah, if you didn't know, having a strong neck, it stabilizes your brain, so when you get hit, your head doesn't rattle as much, and your brain stays in the same place so you don't get a concussion. If you haven't heard about this, I recommend checking out my other video on other no equipment neck exercises you could do, where I give you a bunch of other ones and I explain why it's important, not just for sports but also if you want to go through life without having a pencil neck. But I learned about this towel exercise where you just literally push as hard as you can against the towel, 10 seconds this way, 10 seconds forward, 10 seconds to the side, 10 seconds to the other side, from this YouTuber who's, I don't know if he's Australian or if he's from New Zealand, but he has a really good strength and conditioning channel for people who do martial arts. So I'll link the video where he explains how to do the exercise. Also, I forgot to mention this the first time I was recording this video, but if you look in the description below for each exercise, there's a video on how to do the exercise if you're confused on exactly how to do it or the exact technique of it. Alright, so the third exercise is what I call boat rockers. I learned about this from Faraz Hobby, and also I saw John Jones doing it, so it must be good. But literally the first time I tried these, I felt the burn really, really good. So they became one of my favorite exercises. And you probably know how important your core is if you're an athlete, whether that's because you're taking a body shot in boxing or because you want to connect your lower body to your upper body. The way Faraz explained it was that your lower body and upper body is connected by your lower back, which is like a bridge, and your abs are basically like the cables to that bridge. So yeah, if you haven't done these, make sure you give it a try. Now fourth is plank variations. Again, your core is super, super important, so this is just another really good exercise for it. And there's a ton of different variations you could do of planks. You could do what most people do and do it on your elbows, or you could do it on your hands if, let's say, your elbows hurt for some reason. You could also do something that my coach used to make us do, which is where you go from your elbows to your hands. And if you want to add a little extra challenge, you could add a push-up every time you get to your hands when you do the elbows to hands. You could also do something I saw Michael Chandler doing, where you lift up your opposite arm, opposite leg for a second or two, and you switch. And I feel like this just teaches you how to stabilize your core. And you could also do something a little bit easier, which is just shoulder taps, where you literally just tap your shoulders. Alright, fifth exercise is lunges. There's a couple different ways you could do them. You could do them forward and come back, forward and come back, or you could take a step backwards, come back, take a step backwards and come back, or you could do walking lunges where you literally just carry on. All of these are really good for your legs, and as Matt Wenning says, the only wrong way to do something is the same way every time. Now I'm just going to be honest, it is harder to work out your legs without any equipment because your legs are such a strong muscle, but I like lunges a lot. Even if you're not using a lot of weight, you still get a lot of stability and balance from doing these. And I think lunges are especially important for athletes because it's very rare you're going to be 2 feet perfectly on the floor like when you're doing a squat. Usually you're on one leg most of the time, or the balance isn't equal. So, having really good balance and stability is important. And yeah, since your legs are super strong, lunges might be easy for you. If you're just starting out, they're gonna still feel pretty hard. But once they get easy, the way around this is just by doing a bunch of lunges, and you can still get a good workout in that way. Now, sixth exercise is pull-ups. Pretty much everyone has access to a pull-up bar, whether that's a nearby park or just getting those $10 door frame ones. But your back is super important for athletes, whether that's because you're grappling or you're clinching in Muay Thai or you're getting off a block in football, or you just want to look like a beast. Like, in my opinion, having a strong back is the most alpha muscle you could have. Well, actually, maybe either back, forearms, or neck. But anyways, like the other exercises, there's a ton of different variations you could do, and I recommend mixing it up. So you could do something like chin-ups where your palms are facing towards you. This will work out your biceps a tiny bit more. You could also do wide grip and have your palms facing out. You could also do narrow grip with your palms still facing out. And something that my cornerback coach taught me is something called mixed grip, where one palm is facing in, the other palm is facing out. And even though I learned this when I was playing football, I like this a lot for martial arts because it really feels like you have an overhook and the underhook at the same time. And it does feel a little bit weird, but it's still just a nice little mix up you could do so you don't get bored. Alright, number 7 is all reliable, and that's push-ups. All the main characters in anime are doing this, so it has to be good. But yeah, push-ups, like the name, really good for your pushing muscles, which is your chest, shoulders, and triceps. So you could do them normally, but like the other exercises, you could vary it too. If you want to hit more triceps, you could have your hands in more narrow and have your elbows right by your body and do narrow push-ups, and that'll hit your triceps more. Or you could do diamond push-ups, which is just where you make a diamond with your hand and do push-ups that way. If you want to hit more chest, you could have your hands out wide, and doing push-ups like this will help hit your chest more. If you want more upper chest, you could elevate your feet, and this is basically the push-up equivalent to doing incline bench press. But if you haven't done this, make sure you try my favorite way of doing push-ups, and that's by elevating your feet but still having the narrow push-ups where your elbows are right by your body. And this will just hit your triceps really well, and it's from a position you usually don't get into, which is nice. Alright, so now I'm going to give you a bonus exercise, and it's what I call Floyd Mayweather sit-ups, because I saw Floyd Mayweather do it, and also I don't really know the name for it, but my Muay Thai coach has me do it too. And also, just recently, I saw Demetrius Johnson teaching death sentence about these. But yeah, you literally just do a sit up and then stand up like you're doing a squat, then get back down and repeat. And you could do something like 3 sets of 20 reps for these. But me, I just made it a habit that every time I get up from laying down, instead of like using my hands to get up, I always just get up this way. Except when I'm sparring or competing in Muay Thai and I want to get up more efficiently, I'll get up normally. But yeah, when I'm laying down in the gym, I'll just always get up this way just to get 1 rep. And over time, I've probably done thousands of these from how many times I get up. So yeah, just wanted to share this exercise with you. So yeah, if I mentioned some exercises you haven't heard of before or that you haven't tried before, give them a try and let me know how they were in the comment section. And yeah, as always, if you have any questions, just let me know there and I'll try and get back to you. But yeah, if you clicked on this video, I know how frustrating it could be to not have equipment to train with, especially if you know your opponent or the team that you're going against does have equipment and they're training with it. But just understand that there's still tons of stuff you can do, like these exercises. And if you push yourself hard, you could still get a better workout in than most people do with equipment. And I might just be saying this because I just got done reading the Bible. But I'd say make sure you're still grateful for the little things, like even just having a hand to be able to do pull-ups with. Because if you know the football player Shaquille Griffin, or Shaquem, I forgot what his exact name was, but yeah, he didn't have a hand to do push-ups with or pull-ups with. Or just the fact that, you get to exercise in the morning because, there's kids in Africa who are working the sand mines and things like that. But yeah, I'm just saying make sure you're grateful for the things you have and the things you can do. But I decided to make this video because it ties into my previous video, which is how I became the strongest pound for pound football player, which you could check out here. And you'll know what I'm talking about if you watch it. But if you like this video, make sure to subscribe if you want to see other videos like this. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.